Yu-Gi-Oh! Has changed a lot over the years. Seemingly new archetypes come out every few months, leaving older strategies in the dust. Cards that were once powerhouses are now considered bulk. But lately, Konami have been coming out with support for these old archetypes to either give them a fresh start or actually make them viable in the first place. 2025 is the year of the Yu-Gi boomers, and I wanted to prove that whether you're a new player or a returning veteran, you can find competitive success using your favorite monsters. So I'm taking 3 structures of Yu-Gi-Oh's most powerful monster and officially starting from scratch. Now I bet some of you are wondering, Nub, what are the rules of this challenge? First off, somebody didn't see Season 1. Second off, I'm glad you asked. First things first, we can only get cards via sealed product or trades. Now, one thing we did in the last season, sealed product consisted of booster packs, or any products that contain booster packs like the Megatens. This season, we're including sealed products such as structure decks. Now, for example, let's say we are in desperate need of Droll and Lockbird, and nobody in our area has it. Or the people that do have it have the very expensive ones, and what we have in our trade binder, they're just not wanting. What we can do is take part of our budget, put it toward structure decks, and just have fewer packs with an extra structure deck. As far as trades go, it has to be card for card with equal value, or if somebody just has a few penny cards that they just don't want, we are allowed to take those. If someone finds out about our series and says, hey, you're wanting to build Primite, here's Barrel, I will not accept it. The second thing about trades is that we are incorporating our local game store into the series. One problem we had in the last season was that we had a bunch of bulk that we just couldn't do anything with because it's stuff that nobody else wants. However, your local game store will gladly take that bulk off your hands. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bulk and give it to the local game store, and we're going to make a fresh account, no other store credit on there, and we're going to rack it up. Every time our account hits a $10 interval mark, I will make a poll and a community post of this channel asking you guys what should we do with the money. The options will be look for singles that can improve our deck, buy packs or other sealed product, or bank it to save up for high power cards we might need in the future. Rule number 2 is each week the budget will be $30 unless it's allocated to another product. So for example, let's say that Konami comes out with a Megaten that is $50. This Megaten is twice as big and holds twice as many packs as a normal Megaten. And they have confirmed pulls that we need for our deck. So what we can do is take the $30 from one week, put it towards the following week, so that way we have a $60 budget to get the Megaten plus 2 other packs. The end goal of this series is to take this to a YCS, Rational, or even, God willing, the World Championship Series to just see what we can't do with this deck in a very limiting challenge run. Hope the rules were made crystal clear. This is the second time I've done this, but I haven't done this in a long time. So, without further ado, let's get into the structure deck openings. Boys, it is now time. We are finally back for Season 2. I was honestly going to do something similar on a Master Duel as like a little like in-between type series. But now we are here. The Blue Eyes White Destiny structure deck is finally out. And honestly, being completely honest with you, I did get these a little bit early. So if you live in the US, you might know that GameStop has actually been selling these a little early, the little cheeky. But we went ahead and scooped these up just to have enough time to plan the deck how I wanted to run these 3 structures and have enough time to, set everything up accordingly. So, if you don't know how these structures work, you have the list of cards back here, but there's another pack inside that could potentially hold a secret rare / QCR rarity bump to any of the cards. And what I think I'm going to do is the only one I'm guaranteed going to keep is Ultimate Spirit Dragon, because if I get it, that's just a sign from God. But I think from here, anything that we, pull from here is going to be trade bait. Alright, so here's the card. It is face down, so we're gonna do them all at once. This is premium H2O in here. The packaging is like sealed to the outer box. Usually you can just pull everything out, no problem. But let's get this out. We're gonna have to tear this thing, aren't we? I was really hoping I didn't have to, but here is the deck. We'll go over one of the decks for the video, but for the other 2, we're just going to take them apart, get the loose card out, and see where we are. First, we have Indigo Eye Silver Dragon. Then we have the Link one that starts to field spell, Spirit with Eyes of Blue, Maiden of White, Wishes for Eyes of Blue, Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, the Omni Negate, Neo Kaiser Seahorse, Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons, Majesty of the White Dragons, and next we have our Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Blue Eyes White Dragon. So we do get 3 different arts. I think I am going to pick one art, and until we get rarity bumps of certain Blue Eyes arts, that will be the art we stick with for the future. We get Blue Eyes Alternative, Blue Eyes Jet, which is crazy. Now we get a common Jet and Graceful Charity. We get Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon, Spirit of White, Chaos Max, a huge card to get, as well as Chaos Dragon, the little one, Stone of Legend, Stone of Ancients, Sage with Eyes of Blue, big card for the deck. We get 3 of them. That's weird. Usually you get 1, and you are able to get 3, and it comes with like 1 of each, and then you put them together. But now we have 9 copies of Sage of Blue. Master with Eyes of Blue, Dictator of D. We get how many? Okay, we get 2. These are the main reasons that people are going to be picking up these structure decks. Is you get 1 Nibiru, 1 Ash Blossom, and 2 Effect Failures. That is huge for a single structure deck. That is huge, and there's still more coming. We get Chaos Form for the Chaos Max, Ultimate Fusion. We get 2 of these. Melody of Awakening Dragon, big card for the deck. Mausoleum of White, insane field spell. We have Burst Stream of Destruction. We get, I think it's 2 copies? Yeah, 2 copies of Trade-In. Called by the Grave for the Ash Blossom / Effect Failure play. Again, crazy. True Light, just a good trap for Blue Eyes. The Ultimate Creature of Destruction. Destined Rivals. A little bit more of a difficult card to get out, but still crazy nonetheless. Infinite Impermanence, another insane hand trap. I always say, if there's 6 cards you're going to in a deck that you're making, 3 of these, 3 Ash Blossoms. Those are 6 that are going to take up your 40 card slot. Now we get to move to the extra deck monsters. We get a copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate, Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate, Twin Burst, Tyrant Dragon, which is crazy, Spirit Dragon, Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, and bro, I'll be honest, Seal's Pass. And we get a little advertisement cards for Duel Links and whatnot, Neuron, all that good stuff. But that is the contents of each deck. So going over that, I think everything's gonna have the same no matter what. But we are going to bust open the other 2 because the decks are all gonna be the same. And I will pull out the rarity bump card and we will see what we got. Here's hoping for QCR Ultimate Dragon, baby. Alright everybody, these are our rarity bumps. I have not looked at any of them. I made sure that they're all upside down when pulling them out. If I saw any inkling of what looked like could be like the front facing of a card, I did flip it over. I mixed them up. Just for clarity, I will mix them again. That way we don't know which one is which. And we're gonna start with this one. First rarity bump is Secret Rare, Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Such a good Secret Rare. Alright, next we're gonna go to the left one. And it is Secret Rare, Maiden of White. Another really good rarity bump. I like it a lot. Now the middle one, could this be the rarity bump for Ultimate Spirit Dragon? But over we get another Secret Rare, Wishes for Eyes of Blue, which is fine. I do think for the sake of the series, this is going to be used as trade bait, because I honestly don't care about rarity all that much. I care about functionality over rarity. So for right now, we will use these as trade bait, and if we can get rarity bumps later as trades, we will do that and just get these back, and maybe we could even get the QCR versions of these cards as good rarity bumps. But I'm going to take these, put them in a trade binder, and I'm going to put the 3 decks together, and I will see you guys for the deck profile. The Blue Eyes structure has a few ways the deck could be built. You can go for a more control version of the deck that has the option to stun your opponent. You can go for full beatdown, going into Indigo to negate your opponent's board going second. Or you can go funny
Chaos Max Beatdown, but I think the build we came up with is the best version.
Alright then guys, so we have made the deck, and I'm going to show you the deck list now. I looked over a few different decks online, and I think I did sell on one that I really liked. First, we're going to show off 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. All the builds we use one of, but we're using the structure deck. It's much more limiting to what we can do, but 3 Blue Eyes is what we're playing because we do have a bunch of plays that can do that, depending on if they're in field or in graveyard. The next thing we're playing 3 of is Maiden of White. This is our ticket. Like, this is the main card we want to send to get the Link 1. We always want to send Maiden of White. We always want a normal Maiden. Maiden effect. We always want a normal Maiden. Then we want to Link 1 into the Spirit Dragon. And then go from our combos from there. And Maiden of White is able to, once you special summon Blue Eyes, doesn't matter where, as long as you get Blue Eyes, get special summon her from the graveyard, and you're able to place a True Light trap from your deck face up. So you already have True Light on the field live during the first turn. So that's actually really, really huge. The next card we're playing is 3 copies of Sage of Blue. This is the best card Blue Eyes had up until Maiden. Sage is whenever it's no more special summon, or whenever it's normal summon, add a level 1 Light Tuner from your deck into your hand. It is an extender for Light Tuners, so we see this, normal summon, get Maiden, link this off, do our plays that way, and we're able to use Maiden as discard material to get her into the graveyard. It's actually really, really big, really, really nice. We are running 1 of Master of Blue. He is just a, if our opponent's using something with our effect monsters, wants the target to destroy, we can activate this in the grave, shuffle it back, get a little bit more recursion into the deck, which is really nice. We're running 2 copies of Neo Kaiser Seahorse. If you control a Blue Eyes Red Dragon, I can immediately just special summon this card. This is also great link material for the Blue Spirit Dragon. It also allows me to get cards that get a Blue Eyes or a card that mentions Blue Eyes from our deck to our hand, which is very, very nice. It also is able to get a Blue Eyes or a card that mentions Blue Eyes from our deck to our graveyard. That way we can still do our graveyard effects, which is very, very big, very, very nice. We're also running 2 copies of Dictator D. You can send a Blue Eyes from our deck to the grave or hand to the grave to special summon this card. This is another level 4 spellcaster link material for the Link 1, able to get another extender. So long as this card's on the field, you can control where your opponent's attacks lead. So not going to come up very often, if ever, but still pretty nice to have. Moving on to the spells, we have 1 copy of Mausoleum of White. It does have a graveyard effect, but we really don't want to use a graveyard effect because it's kind of bad, and the card it gets you is kind of bad. So basically what this does is during the main phase, you can normal summon a level 1 Light Tuner monster in addition to your normal summoner set. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, send 1 normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, send target monster against attack and defense equal to that level times the monster sent to the graveyard times 100. So the play used with this, you get Spirit, which is this sends a Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes gains Spirit's attack points, send Spirit to get Blue Eyes. When Blue Eyes special summoned, you get Maiden from deck to field, and you're able to do your synchro plays from there. Next up, we are running 3 copies of White Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Discard 1 card and 1 level 1 Light Tuner and a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. So this is a 2-card searcher, which is absolutely insane from the deck to your hand. Except for Wishes of Eyes of Blue, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon. You currently equip 1 Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck to it as an equipped spell, and it gains 400 attack. So what you can do here is you're actually able to use this to equip a fusion monster to a Blue Eyes and use that as material to get into your Tyrant Dragon, which is, once again, insanely that you, off of 1 card, you can get a level 1 Light Tuner, a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes, and Banish for Cause once Blue Eyes is on field to get basically just hard go into Tyrant Dragon. That's honestly amazing. We're running 2 copies of Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragon, special summon defense position 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment. But if you control no Blue Eyes White Dragon, you special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect. So if we have Blue Eyes White Dragon on field, we can choose any Blue Eyes Dragon monster. But if we don't control Blue Eyes, we have to hard summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes White Dragons with this effect. You can also special summon from the extra deck from the rest of this turn, except Dragon Monsters, which with this deck is no problem. You can banish this card from the graveyard, fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or field, including a Blue Eyes monster. You can only use one War of Item with this turn, once effect each turn. So each effect is once per turn. This is a pseudo poly to go into Tyrant Dragon, special summon fusion from Tyrant Dragon, or Blue Eyes Ultimate, Neo Blue Eyes, Twin Burst, any of those cards. This is a really, really good card. We're also running one Ultimate Fusion. During the main phase, special summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon of material by shuffling the materials mentioning it from your hand, field, or grave into the deck. So you can honestly add this turn 1 and just immediately use it going to Tyrant Dragon, or you could potentially set it face down and use it during your opponent's main phase 1 to go into your fusion plays, which is honestly really, really big. Next, we are running one copy of True Light. True Light, I think, is one of the better Blue Eyes cards. I think it's honestly a little slept on because you're able to just special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon to your monster zone from your graveyard or hand. You're able to set a spell trap from the deck that mentions it, and if it's a spell card, it's live. Your opponent cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragons in your monster zones with card effects. The main thing about this card that makes it just so bad is the fact that if it's removed from the play, if it leaves the field, then all your monster cards are destroyed. They're all just gone. So that's the downside to True Light, is that it's a board wipe on your field, not your opponent's. So you really, really want to protect this card as much as you physically can. We are also running one copy of Majesty of the White Dragons. This is a really good pop. You reveal 3 Blue Eyes from hand, field, or grave, and you just are up to 3 Blue Eyes. So you don't even need 3 total. You could just have 1 and destroy that many monsters your opponent controls. It's really, really good interruption for Malice. It's really, really good interruption for Ryzeal, because once your opponent gets their 2 monsters on board, you can trigger Majesty of the White Dragons, target the 2 Ryzeal monsters on board, pop them, and they can't go into Duo Drive, which I think is going to come up a lot. I wanted to run this at 2, but honestly, it's kind of a brick in the deck where it stands right now with just the 3 structures. So I'm running it at 1, but it is very much searchable. So we can just True Light into this. We can, I believe we can do Maiden into this. We can do Roar Blue Eyes into this. Anything, we can do so much to get this card. So that's why it's a brick at 2, or it's a brick if you hard draw into it. You don't want to, because that's just like another slot that could be your starter. But we can hard search into it, which is really, really nice. We are also running one copy of Blue Eyes Abyss, one copy of Dragon Spirit of White, and one copy of Blue Eyes Jet. All of these do different things. Spirit of White, when special summon, destroy a trap card your opponent controls against stuff like Ryzeal Hole. This is going to be really good. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. The card is sent from field to grave, so let's say our Ultimate Dragon goes to grave because you couldn't get a Zurize for whatever reason to protect it from the Spirit Dragon effect. We can special summon this card, and cards on the field is destroyed by battle card effects. Special summon this card. Other cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is huge against Detonator. Huge, huge, huge against, not Detonator. Yeah, it's Detonator, Ryzeal Detonator. Just honestly insane against Ryzeal Detonator. And then we have Abyss Dragon. This card special summon, add a ritual spell or 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. During the end phase, you can add a level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Banish this card from your graveyard. All level 8 or higher monsters you control gain 1,000 attack. So this is a searcher for a ritual spell. This is a ritual for polymerization. This is a attack buff from the graveyard. So that way, if I get just barely off for whatever reason, you can banish this, get that little extra attack power to beat over anything your opponent could possibly have. Really, really nice, really, really good. And then I am running Chaos Max Dragon with Chaos Form. I really like Chaos Max Dragon. I think this is another beater that is slept on. I know rituals, except for the Mitsurugi and the Voiceless Voice, are kind of bad, but this one is really good. Ritual Summon Chaos Form. Once you Ritual Summon, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, and cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So it can be destroyed by True Light, so you really have to watch out for that with this with True Light on board. But your opponent cannot destroy this thing. Your opponent can get rid of this thing, your opponent can weaken this thing, and it does double piercing damage, which is absolutely insane. So against Malice, it's not really all that great because they're link monsters. They can't really go in defense position. But against Ryzeal, They're going to be putting dual drive in defense position. They're going to try to keep Detonator in attack position. But still, this card is absolutely insane. And then you banish Abyss Dragon to do 5k, so even if it's being weakened with dual drive, it's still going to get 1,000 more attack. Absolutely crazy, nuts, bonkers. Alright, this is the non-engine. The non-engine isn't a whole lot. It's basically just a bunch of hand traps. We have 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Valor, 3 copies of Nib, 3 copies of Imperm, and 1 Called by the Grave to stop the Ash. Like I said, this deck doesn't really, the Starter deck doesn't really come with a lot of non-engine. It comes with a bunch of gas, and it comes with a few hand traps. So the 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, I've always said, if you're making a 40 card deck, 6 of those cards are going to be Imperm Ash. The Nibiru is going to come huge against Malice. It's insane against Malice. Valor is just a good hand trap to have overall. I thought about just playing the 1 Valor, but in case we need more interruption, because we don't have a lot of protection, or it's just the structure decks, I would rather us have more means of interruption during our opponent's turn, especially in the format we are currently in. So that is why I am running the 3 Valor in that sense. Moving on to the extra deck, we are running, of course, 3 copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. This is the Link 1 and the Field Spell Searcher. Very, very important to have 3 of. We're also rocking 1 Heretic Seals of Heavenly Spheres. Spheres is just, you know, a bounce card. It is actually insanely good. It has stood the test of time in Dragon Link. Every dragon deck, or just deck that runs a decent amount of dragons, plays this card. So that's why I am running 1 of it. We are running 3 copies of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, 2 copies of Ultimate Spirit Dragon, and 1 Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Ideally, I wanted to put 3 Ultimate Spirit Dragon, and I still may put in a 3rd Spirit Dragon in a later episode. But I figured that Spirit Dragon is important to get Ultimate Spirit Dragon out, and ideally we would have Ultimate Spirit Dragon, then Azure Eyes on the field to prevent it from being popped. So we wouldn't want too many slots in the deck taken up by a card that we ideally would already have on field and would never go away. So 3 Spirit, and Spirit's just a good card. It is a good card to have in the deck. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time. Once per turn, when an effective card in the graveyard is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation. Quick effect, so, and then there's a tribute effect. So basically this is just a onboard bell. This is just an onboard ghost bell, which is really good. Ultimate Slayer is our Omni Negate, and Azure Eyes is our protection from the Spirit Dragon, which is honestly huge. Next we're running 2 Neo Ultimate Dragon and 2 Tyrant Dragon. Tyrant Dragon is just a staple in any Blue Eyes deck. This card will always be in a Blue Eyes deck. And Neo, though is a really strong card, is a really good card, it's pretty much just here to equip to a Blue Eyes monster, so it would contribute it for the Tyrant Dragon. So that's why he's here mainly, because I did contemplate being funny and adding the original Ultimate Dragons, but I feel like the Neo Ultimate is just better because it actually has effects. It's not a vanilla monster, and it's still really, really strong with 4,500 attack and 3,800 defense. So that's why it's here. And then finally we're running 1 Indigo Eyes Silver Dragon. This is not a pivotal card in the deck, but it's still really good to have. Cannot attack directly unless it has a normal monster as material, so we have to have Blue Eyes under this as material. You can only use each effect of following effects of Indigo Eyes Silver Eyes once per turn. If this card is XZ summoned, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. So this, when the XZ summon, shuts down every monster your opponent has. Any form of interruption, anything like that is gone in terms of monster effects. Now we still have to deal with Rizal Crossing, and Rizal Crossing is a on resolution negate, so we still have to deal with that, and it can still negate this card. But assuming that we can get rid of Rizal Crossing before this card comes out, Detonator, Dual Drive, all that is gone. Now you can detach one material from this card, target 1 normal monster from the graveyard or banishment, special summon it, and if you do, it gains 1,000 attack. So if it has material underneath it, and it's able to, or if it has vanilla material underneath it, and you're able to special summon a Blue Eyes, you have 2 4K beaters on board, which is honestly kind of crazy. I don't have a side deck made for this deck yet, just because like all the other cards in the deck aren't really like swappable. It's like more copies of certain cards, like we got more copies of Valor, and then it's just like cards that we're not really going to be seeing. So this is the deck as is. Eventually, I hope to trade and or pull into some really nice cards that we can inevitably pull from and get into the deck. But for right now, this is the deck, and I'm going to show you guys some of the combos we can accomplish with the deck. Alright then guys, I'm going to show you some of these test hands and combos you can go into with this deck. The combos can honestly get kind of crazy with just the structure alone. So starting off rip, we have Witch of Eyes of Blue, Maiden of White, Huge, Nibiru, Imperm, and Roar of the Blue Dragon. So Nibiru is a card we don't want to see in it going first hand, but it's still nice to have nonetheless. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to activate Witches with Eyes of Blue, discard a card, add a level 1 light tuner, and a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from deck to hand. Activate this, we're going to discard the Maiden of White, and the two cards we're going to add are the Sage of Eyes of Blue. Now from here, there's a few things you can add. First off, never add True Light. Do not add True Light because we're going to use Maiden to get True Light. So what we are going to add instead is we do have a Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons in hand. So what you can do is, in this situation, you can either go for Ultimate Fusion, or you can go ahead and get Majesty of the White Dragons. Personally, I'm going to go for Ultimate Fusion as a form of future interruption. Then from here, we're going to normal summon Sage of Eyes of Blue. On normal summon, you can add a level 1 light tuner from deck to hand. And what we are going to do is we're going to add Master with Eyes of Blue just for a little bit more recursion. Then from there, we're going to link one Sage into the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Spirit with Eyes of Blue is effect going to activate immediately to go ahead and get us our Mausoleum of White. We're going to activate Mausoleum of White. We're going to use its effect to send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from deck to grave, targeting the Spirit Dragon to give it a extra 800 attack. Spirit Dragon's effect is going to destroy itself to special summon Blue Eyes, which will immediately activate Maiden to special summon itself. And then from here, what we can actually do is we can synchro into our Spirit Dragon. Now remember, we do get an additional normal summon if it's a level 1 light tuner. So, but for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually trigger Spirit's effect, setting it to grave to bring out our Ultimate Dragon. And then Spirit will obviously destroy Ultimate Dragon during the end phase, but like I said, we do get other options. The next card we're going to activate is Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. Special in defense position, a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, grave, or banishment. But if I control no Blue Eyes White Dragon, then I can activate the then I can summon Blue Eyes White Dragon instead. So we are going to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck. Now from here, we're going to normal summon Master with Eyes of Blue again, and synchro again into our Azuri's Spirit Dragon. So now Azuri is going to protect Ultimate Dragon from being destroyed. Now from here, we have a interruption with Ultimate Spirit Dragon, and we have it's being protected from Azuri's. Then from here, we did not get to use the Send of Maiden of White. So what we're going to actually do is we're just going to set Imperm and set Ultimate Fusion. And unfortunately, with the Witches of Eyes of Blue, you can target Blue Eyes Red Dragon you control. We don't have control of Blue Eyes Red Dragon. And with Roared Blue Eyes, we can fusion using cards from our hand or field. We don't want to do that just yet. So we will pass to our opponent. Now what we can do on our opponent's turn, we can use the Ultimate Fusion, shuffling cards from our graveyard back into the deck, which in our case, we will be shuffling back Spirit Dragon, as well as, actually what we're going to do, no, we'll shuffle like Spirit Dragon and Blue Eyes White Dragon, shuffling these two back to bring out our Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. So now we have Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon on board, and we have a Nibiru, as well as a form of interruption with Imperm, and a Omni Negate with Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This is honestly a pretty solid board, all coming from a single structure deck. I think the only thing I could have done differently here was immediately send Maiden to get True Light. But other than that, I think it's pretty good hand. And then on our next turns, draw into Sage, which again, we go Sage, normal summon, Sage effect. It will get us our second copy of Maiden. Maiden effect, discard for cost, is going to add to place our True Light to the field. True Light effect is going to special summon our Blue Eyes. We have a full board, so we can't use our Maiden's effect. But what we can do is we can do Link 1 into Spirit. And then from here, we can actually do Spirit effect, tribute it to summon a Blue Eyes. Yeah, this is a really strong board, and we can actually turn these to attack position. That's 35, 34. Right there is game already. With all the interruption we have, it's actually kind of insane what we have. And with Mausoleum of Light, we can still send a Blue Eyes from Deck the Grave to target something and give it another 800 attack point boost. We can give Ultimate Eye Spirit Dragon up to 4,300 attack points, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, I think this deck is going to perform pretty well. I do want to practice a little bit with it before our first local, but I think it's going to perform very well. I think especially once I truly get the combos down, because I'm sure you guys in the comments are going to point out that I made some mistakes here and there. Some cards don't work the way I think they do, but it is all part of the learning experience. I haven't had a whole lot of practice with this deck. I was able to learn it a little bit, but I was mainly learning Exodia for the past YCS Orlando and the YCS Orlando vlog, but I think that this is going to top a YCS, or even a Nats, or even, dare I say, World Championship. So yeah, I'm really confident with this deck, and I can't wait to see how far we can get in Season 2 of Starting From Scratch. But anyway, let's get into the duels.
Hi, it's me. So I don't know what happened, but one of our recordings didn't record all the way because A, full memory, and then the rest of them just didn't export, and they're no longer on my camera SD. I don't know what happened, but it wouldn't be a Super Nut video if something wasn't scuffed. So here we are. I'm just gonna give you guys like a brief play-by-play of what happened that night at Locals. This is the footage of the only match we were able to get. It wasn't the full match, it was only the first 15 minutes, but it was against Fiendsmith Ryzeal. And the deck was able to put up a good fight, I feel like, but whenever they set up a Desiree with 5 negates all simultaneously, it's kind of hard to set off any of our effects. So they were able to just kind of negate everything we could do that was face up on board, and what we had in our hand by the end of it was very limiting, so they wound up taking it. Second match was against Mitsurugi Ryzeal, and just, I'm not gonna lie to you, we bricked both hands. We lost a die roll going second. We had a great going first hand. Didn't see any hand traps though. So we lost round 1, and then round 2, whenever we're going into it, we were able to set up a decent board, I feel like. They had a few negates that stopped us from going full out, but they were able to just kind of overpower us using Detonator and Duo Drive, so we just kind of lost out there. And then our final match, our opponent was just like, I can't win prizing, so I'm just going to drop. So technically, we went 1-2, but I'm not going to count that. So we went 0-2 today. But we do get 1 prize pack, or entry pack, so let's go and put that up right now.
Alrighty then, we get 1 entry pack. It is Suda. They were out of OTS. And obviously, cards we wanted to hear. We want Barrel. We want Lordy Load, I believe that one's in here, but any QCR would be highly, highly tradable. So we have Crystal and Cluster, Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, Beast of Talar, Hydor, and our super rare is Metriolacare Exegard, and then the rest of our commons, and dogs are going crazy in the back. Nothing crazy, but it is just the first pack of the series, so hopefully we'll be able to get some more. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Couple of thank you video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Helps us as a whole. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.